Hello, my movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. The beginning of the week has started, meaning we've got news to talk about. Some of the things we're going to be discussing here today is M3GAN 2 blowing up the box office and guaranteeing herself a sequel. We got a look at the designs for the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I definitely want to discuss that with you guys, and even a couple of details concerning Spider-Man 4 that I'm not sure excite me or kind of slightly disappoint me. That along with so much more, so many of you guys give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. Timestamps will be in the description. As a quick off the top, I do want to mention tonight Marvel is going to be releasing a brand new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. They even released a little poster here to prepare fans for it. I think the poster's fine. I kind of like the first poster better, but this upcoming trailer is rumored to have some big surprise in it, so I'll probably be making a video about it, so stay tuned on the channel for that, guys. But without further ado, let's just dive into our first topic. And we'll start off here. We're going to talk about how M3GAN is the little killer doll that is just becoming a huge phenomenon. So over the weekend, the movie M3GAN came out, and a lot of people actually went out to see it. The movie was made on a budget of $12 million, and over the weekend, domestically, it made $30 million. Basically, almost tripling its budget and becoming profitable in its very first weekend. Everything it makes for the next couple of weeks is pure profit for Blumhouse. And as a movie fan, I think there are just so many interesting angles to look at this M3GAN situation, because for one, if you market the movie just the right way with that little silly dance that they had all throughout the trailers playing into M3GAN being a slay queen, censoring the movie from an R rating to a PG-13, it paid off in the long run. And even just comparing this to Child's Play from 2019 that I'm saying is an extremely similar movie to M3GAN, except that was a movie with a recognizable IP, Child's Play, Chucky. It had star power, Aubrey Plaza, Brian Tyree Henry. It kept its R rating, so the movie was gory, bloody, and foul. Even attempted their own hand at some viral marketing. You remember those Toy Story posters where you would have Chucky killing the Toy Story toys? Yet M3GAN ended up making Child's Play 2019's entire theatrical box office run in one weekend. And that's not me saying, oh, M3GAN is definitely way better than Child's Play, or Child's Play is still better than M3GAN. Like, to each their own. But just looking at the numbers and the way things are marketed and presented to people, how they can perform differently at the box office, that stuff is just fascinating to me. But my little dumb tangent aside, because of its success, Blumhouse is already in early development with making a M3GAN sequel. We have no details at all whatsoever what the sequel will be about, what direction they're taking in, but I mean, we can go off a few things. One, they're probably going to keep the PG-13 rating, but two, it might turn out better this time, because now knowing that they have to kind of restrain themselves, they might end up creating a little bit more suspenseful moments, a little bit more of a creepy atmosphere, stuff that doesn't necessarily rely on carnage candy being thrown at your face. Now that they can write the movie knowing it'll be PG-13, maybe they could still create something really frightening. But even just the possibilities of where this could go, as a fan of killer doll movies, I'm excited. They clearly ended the movie on a way where M3GAN can come back, so I'm definitely down to see them play into that angle, and if whether it was just a one-hit wonder or M3GAN can just do this again. What is your opinion on why M3GAN succeeded at the box office and what you want to see in the sequel? And well, speaking of horror movies, if you're someone who doesn't want a PG-13 horror film, oh, we got something brewing for you that's gonna be nasty. It's being reported that Eli Roth's long-awaited horror movie Thanksgiving, that was originally conceived as a fake movie trailer in the movie Grindhouse, is finally actually going to be made into a real horror film. And this to me actually sounds kind of exciting. If you want to go check out that fake trailer that will basically detail you an idea of what the movie could look like, I'm going to show you little snippets of footage, but it's a pretty graphic trailer. Make sure you're watching it by yourself, because some stuff will be popping up in your face I don't think you want to be caught watching. But the basic idea of the movie is there's this town in Massachusetts that has a big Thanksgiving Day parade, and I guess one lunatic in the town is not a big fan of it, decides to dress up in almost this pilgrim attire, wielding an axe, and just starts going crazy on the townsfolk. For one, I already love the costume. Anytime you can give me a slasher character with a unique look, I'm gonna be all up for it. I am sick of slasher movies where the horror character only wears pure black, a random mask, and then a knife. It's just like so boring. Give me something unique, and a man dressing up like a pilgrim with an axe is unique enough for me. But this feels like it could be just like a dumb, fun slasher movie with some carnage candy thrown at your face. It could even kind of work as a parody to slasher movies. But I'm curious to see if he could actually make something memorable here, because when you think of Thanksgiving horror movies, not a lot come to mind. Sure, you might think of Thanksgiving, but that is a horrible movie. Only other detail here that interests me is that this is being made with Spyglass, the same people who made the latest Hellraiser movie and the upcoming Scream films. Really showing that they've been wanting to dip their toes in the horror genre, and well, they're making a name for themselves. You hear about this Thanksgiving horror movie that Eli Roth is working on. Are you interested in it? Did you know about it all the way back in that Grindhouse film? Or could you care less? Now, funny enough, there is a part 2 to this story that I think some people might find even more interesting. When Deadline originally reported that Eli Roth will finally be working on this Thanksgiving horror movie, they also mentioned because he's going to be so busy starting to film this movie, his last movie he just filmed, which is the Borderlands video game adaptation film that I know a lot of people are looking forward to and wanting to see, is going to go through several weeks of reshoots, and now that he's not available, they're going to pass the reshoots off to director Tim Miller, who famously made the first Deadpool movie and Terminator Dark Fate. This has caused a lot of speculation and worry amongst fans if the upcoming Borderland movie is terrible and the studio is desperately trying to fix it. We have seen situations like this before where a director directed a movie, the studio didn't like the way it was going, and then they just make up some excuse to bring in a different director to hopefully patch things up, aka Joss Whedon's Justice League. That's kind of the vibe some people are getting off here, and I don't blame them for thinking that. Nowadays, when you hear the word reshoots on a movie, you shouldn't really panic that much. Reshoots are now so common with every movie, at least big budget movies, and I would think a movie based off a video game like Borderlands and stars people like Kevin Hart, Jack Black, would be kind of high budget movies that they would plan reshoots in advance. They know once we film this thing, we show it to an audience, there might be a couple of things we want changed, so we're going to plan for a couple weeks of reshoots in advance. And because they have this plan, they tell the director and the stars ahead of time, don't book any movies, don't book any shows, have this space available because we're going to do some reshoots. So you're really trying to tell me the director of this movie, Eli Roth, decided not to go ahead and do reshoots on his own movie because he really wanted to make this Thanksgiving horror movie? I don't think so. Again, that's just my opinion and speculation. I know nothing. I've even been honest with you guys and say I never played a Borderlands game, so I don't have much excitement for this movie, but I do bring it up because I know some of you out there are fans of this and want to know about it. The only other thing I've heard about this situation and the film is from a couple of scoopers I follow, Big Screen Leaks and Viewer Annan, who have been reliable in the past. Both of them have mentioned something similar that surprises me. Big Screen Leaks said, really hoping these reshoots aren't too serious. I'm hearing the script for this movie is fantastic and was a hot commodity to get. Viewer Annan added on saying, it's been called one of the best scripts in all of Hollywood, so I have no idea how the movie could turn out so badly. There's a common saying in Hollywood, you know, you could have a great script, but with a bad director, you get a bad movie. You can have a terrible script, but with a great director, you could have a good movie. So who knows? Only time will tell. Borderland fans out there looking forward to this movie, do you believe the studio that Eli Roth was just a little busy so they hired Tim Miller to come in? Or that the studio was worried about the movie and are trying to get Tim Miller to fix this thing up? Moving on from there, I want to talk about the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle animated movie we have coming out later this year. It's being called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It's being produced by Seth Rogen, directed by Jeff Rowe, who brought us Mitchells vs. the Machines. I am so looking forward to this movie, and well, we have gotten a leaked look at what the Turtles will be looking like. Only problem is, when I first made this side flick, I was going to show you them, talk you through the designs, give you my opinions, and then I noticed they were being taken down everywhere by Paramount. They don't want you to see these designs, get them leaked, and if I showed them right now, it'll just take down this entire video. But because I like to cheat the system and live a little dangerously, I'm going to give you 2 ways to look at these photos, along with my opinion on them. For one, I'm going to post it as a YouTube short here on my channel. You can find that by going onto my channel page and then just hitting the shorts tab. It'll most likely be the very first video there. Or you can catch that same video on my TikTok at 3C Films and I'll go through them with you. Again, sorry I couldn't show them in this video, but I'd rather get a TikTok or a YouTube short taken down than this long side flick filled with other good movie news. But if you are someone who's checked out those designs and have seen them online already, what is your opinion of it? Are you excited for this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie? I'm extremely pumped, and I'll just say I am a fan of the designs. Bring me now to talk about an update concerning Spider-Man 4. It is going to be a long time before we just get update after update about the new Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, not Tobey Maguire. We know it's in the works, but right now they're in the stages of gathering the stars, figuring out the story, signing everyone's contracts, figuring out what the next 3 films will be. There's a possibility they could start filming and doing things at the end of this year so that we get the film next year. But while we're waiting for that, we have gotten one new detail that I do find fascinating. If we go to Ember Pop Culture, which is a scooper account run by Ember on Main, who has been very reliable with Spider-Man No Way Home information. They not only were leaking photos during the Spider-Man No Way Home days, a lot of the stuff they were talking about came to fruition in the actual movie. And so right now they have it reported that looks like Black Cat will not be part of Spider-Man 4's story. MCU Peter Parker's love interest remains Michelle MJ Jones Watson. They continue on by saying, make no mistake, there are plans for her. Sony is discussing making a Black Cat movie set in the SSU, that's their Sony spin-off universe. The decision to exclude her from the Spider-Man 4 story buys them more time to decide what to do with this beloved character. So right now, Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 is like one of my most anticipated movies of all time because of the way they ended things in Spider-Man No Way Home. Seeing Peter Parker now live on his own, have no one to cling on to, relying on his own wits to make his suit, make his gadgets, and well, just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sounds like it's going to be an amazing movie. Along with that, the consequences that Tom Holland's Spider-Man suffered with losing his love interest MJ and his best friend Ned, I thought was really powerful stuff that now over time, I'm kind of growing into the idea that, okay, Sony and Marvel are most likely going to reverse that spell somewhere down the line, but I wouldn't like it to happen in the very next sequel, Spider-Man 4. I kind of want to see a Tom Holland Spider-Man that is single, that is depressed, that is sad, is doing his best to keep a smile, fight crime, be good, and well, he meets someone like Black Cat. I'm not saying I want them to have a full-on relationship, him fall head over heels and them make whoopee on top of a roof in New York. I'd see that. But I'm not asking for that. I do just think it would be an interesting dynamic to have for Spider-Man to fall in love with someone else, wonder if this is a good relationship, a toxic relationship, and then just kind of have that back and forth. Black Cat is an underrated character that could be really great for Spider-Man, and I think Spider-Man 4 would have been the perfect spot to put her in. But then we fall into this other dilemma that Sony just continues to get into, that every single Spider-Man character that ever exists deserves their own spin-off movie. I don't mind that Venom has his own films, or Kraven's getting his own films. Black Cat will get her own film. What I mind, they won't ever really be part of the main MCU timeline with Tom Holland, so we'll never see him fight off against his Venom, his Kraven, his Chameleon, his Black Cat. Sony is instead gonna find some weird way to just make Tom Holland jump into their Sony universe, fight Morbius, fight Venom. Oh yes, give us great explanations like,
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think.
So that does bug me a little bit, but I've kind of grown more into the idea that I don't mind now if they do reverse the spell and MJ again remembers Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Because at the end, they have to remember, she is his Mary Jane. That is the end goal for Peter Parker's Spider-Man. They're supposed to eventually end up together. But the way they're going to go about it, I'm curious, man. Is it going to be that the whole world's spell is reversed? Is it just going to be her? Is Ned also going to get the spell reversed? Like, how are they going to go through with that? But this is where I throw it off to you guys. You hear Black Cat was possibly going to be used for Spider-Man 4. Sony has now decided, nah, let's not use her. Let's just stick to what works, Mary Jane and Peter Parker. How are you feeling about that? Your thoughts and theories down below. But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.